Welcome back to Dan Recaps. Today I'm going to explain the movie 200 Degrees, released in the year 2017. At the start of the movie, we meet a stockbroker named Ryan Hines as he finds himself tied to a chair in an empty room. After freeing himself from the bindings, he looks out through a small glass window but doesn't see anyone around. As he calls for help, he also receives a call from his friend Bruce, who also asks for help, saying that someone has kidnapped him for ransom. When Ryan asks where he is, Bruce describes an identical room to the one he is in. That's when Ryan realizes they are in the same situation. While they talk, Ryan hears him begging someone to turn down the heat. Then suddenly, he hears an explosion that seems to kill Bruce. Beginning to panic, Ryan screams, begging to be let out, and that is when he hears a voice asking for his full attention before they proceed. The voice reveals Ryan can leave, but only if he guesses the name of his captor, and he only has 2 minutes to get it right. Infuriated by these games, Ryan tries to break through the window, but the voice tells him he is just wasting his time. Realizing the voice is right, Ryan starts thinking about everyone in his life, but he can't seem to think of a person who could be doing this. As Ryan fails to answer in time, the room begins heating up through the ceiling. Failing to turn off the heating system, Ryan agrees to do whatever the voice wants him to do. After explaining that the room might get hotter with time and can boil down his system, the voice finally reveals his demands. He asks Ryan to pick up his phone and arrange $1 million as ransom, or else the room will keep getting hotter by 3 degrees every 5 minutes. Ryan tries to convince him that he doesn't have that kind of money to pay, but the voice insists he find it at any cost because it's his only chance to make it out alive. Ryan asks for mercy while showing the voice a picture of his son Larry, who's waiting for him at home, but the voice replies that he already knows everything about him and his family. After thinking about his wife Anna and worrying for her safety, he agrees to try to get the money the voice is demanding. As the timer begins, Ryan calls his brother, Sergeant John, and explains his situation. Although John is upset that he hasn't been in contact for a long time, he agrees to help him out. After assuring him that they will get him out of there, John tells him to keep his phone on so his team can track his location and rescue him. After he ends the call, the voice asks Ryan if he really thinks his brother can save him. Ryan then offers the voice a $10,000 watch his father gave him if he just lets him go, but the voice won't take it, demanding he smash it on the floor instead. Next, he calls his mother, who just like John complains that he is not kept in touch and only calling her when he needs something. This makes Ryan angry as he reminds her of the monthly checks he sends to them, but she says that John is better than him as he regularly calls them, even though he does not earn enough and is going through a hard time after what happened to his son Adam. She refuses to send the money back, saying she already used it to pay off the house. Ryan loses his temper and yells at her, but quickly apologizes and explains his situation, finally convincing her to transfer the money to his account. After contacting a few other friends, he calls John back and asks him to come save him, saying he can no longer stand the heat. John tells him he is just outside and will rescue him soon, but Ryan is devastated to find his phone signal had been routed to an empty building and the rescue operation has failed. John says all he found in the building was a note that says, "We have them." Meanwhile, as the temperature continues to rise, Ryan calls Anna, who tells him someone has attacked their house and she fears she might be kidnapped just like him. He tells her to lock herself in the room, prompting the sprinklers in Ryan's room to start pouring boiling water, but after he agrees to comply, they stop. Ryan asks the voice about the money, and he responds that he still has to get $900,000. Ryan immediately gets back to work, calling his friends and coworkers to convince them to invest in different businesses. As Ryan lies there, exhausted and hallucinating about dismantling the heating system, he gets another call from John, who tells him they have contacted the phone company and are trying to narrow down his location. When asked if he can remember anything about his abductor, Ryan says he was kidnapped from the hotel's parking lot, but he couldn't see who did it as they were wearing a mask. As they talk, Ryan begins to break down and tells John he's afraid his blood might start to boil if he doesn't get out soon. He then gets a call from one of his friends who agrees to invest in his business idea. This helps Ryan reach the $1 million needed for his release. He shows his phone to the voice while telling him he has arranged the ransom. He asks to turn down the heat, but the voice tells him he violated the rules and can only pay with his own money. Ryan is furious, but is helpless to do anything from inside the room. After explaining that the rules of the game have now changed, the voice reveals he knows that Ryan lied to his friends and family as he kept his personal savings of $4 million for himself. Shocked that the voice knows so much about him, Ryan promises to give him the money from his own savings in just 5 minutes. Ryan yells at him for not explaining the rules earlier, but the voice says he had given him a chance to redeem himself, but he failed. Ryan again tries to save his money, saying it's for Anna and Larry, but as the heat starts rising again, he agrees to transfer it. As he proceeds with the transfer, the bank calls to confirm the transaction, which he reluctantly does as the heat becomes unbearable. After hallucinating of Anna and Larry, Ryan demands his release now that he has paid the ransom from his own money, but the voice says they still have some unfinished business to discuss. The voice tells Ryan to drink water from the bottle he had hidden in the room as he passes him a paper, asking him to read it. The paper contains a list of names, including Anna, Larry, his parents Valerie and Greg, as well as Leslie and John. On his orders, he reveals his relation to each person except for Leslie. He then gets another call from Anna, who tells him they've now locked her in a room identical to his. Ryan is scared for his wife's safety, but the voice tells him to concentrate. He forces Ryan to explain his true identity to his wife in exchange for their freedom. Ryan starts with his full name, but the voice asks if it's his only name. Ryan then reveals he uses multiple identities to convince people to invest in different businesses. Over the phone, he assures Anna he will get her out soon, but then the voice mentions Leslie and instructs him to tell Anna the truth about her too. The voice asks him to open a gift he left for him, in which Ryan finds a human finger wearing a ring. He hears a woman's voice this time and quickly recognizes it is Leslie. She tells him that they have cut off her finger. On the voice's command, Ryan tells Leslie about Anna, but she gets angry and starts arguing with him, saying she is his wife, not Anna. Ryan also reveals he never cared about Leslie and just married her for money, something he has also done to many other women. He talks to Anna and explains she and Larry are the only ones he truly cares about, but she does not answer. As John calls him again, an exhausted Ryan apologizes for not being the big brother he always wanted. John once again assures him that he will be rescued soon, but Ryan says it doesn't matter now and drops the call. The voice tells Ryan to take a gun from the box and shoot himself, or alternatively, he can choose Anna to die in his place. As Ryan can't let her die, he puts the gun to his head and pulls the trigger. But nothing happens. The gun has no bullets. Overwhelmed, Ryan starts crying, but suddenly the door opens and he is allowed to leave. After leaving the room, Ryan finds himself standing in front of his brother John, realizing he is the one who did this. When Ryan expresses his anger, John asks if he remembers his nephew Adam. John scolds him for not calling Adam and reminds him of their meeting a year ago when John asked for help. John needed money for Adam's cancer treatment, but Ryan refused to help. John explains that he initially forgave him, thinking he might have financial issues too, but that all changed when he found out how rich Ryan really is. John tells him he went to Leslie's house for a case and found their wedding pictures. That is when he decided to make him pay for all the bad things he has done. Ryan accuses him of killing Bruce and Anna for his plan, but John reveals both are fine and were all playing along. Meanwhile, Anna and Leslie show up and tell him that they needed him to confess to his betrayal. Although Anna was moved by his proclamation of love, Leslie takes a gun and shoots her before turning the gun on John. As she turns toward the laptop to get the money, she learns it's already going back to Ryan's account. That's when Ryan confesses to being aware of the plan from the beginning, but Leslie thinks he is lying and asks about her money as John shoots her. Ryan explains he realized something was wrong when he got a call from Anna and she said they were going to kidnap her too, as he never told her about his situation. Then, when John asked him to smash the watch, Ryan knew it was him because he was always jealous that he got the watch from his father. He also admits to recognizing it wasn't Leslie's finger and planned to transfer the money back to his own account. When John asks about the gun, Ryan says it was the only thing he didn't know, but still turned it on himself because he couldn't let Anna die. Realizing he is completely exposed, John suggests they clear out the place and leave as if nothing happened. Ryan, however, locks him in the same room with Anna and Leslie's dead bodies before walking away alone. That was all from the video. Subscribe for more content like this and leave a like to help the channel out. Also, leave a comment if you want us to recap your favorite movie. Take care.